Magical School, Pokemon. I'm in. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah, and today we're going to look at my very ambitious May pile of possibilities slash TBR. You can't see it, but there is a stack of books here beside me that comes up to my knee, and I'm sitting down. It's pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. It's about 2 foot tall. So we're gonna try and get through these also very quickly because my husband and my daughter will be home probably in like, what time is it? 4:03, probably in like 15 minutes. So we're gonna try and make this quick. We'll start off at the top of the list with The Pariah by Anthony Ryan. Anthony Ryan is a favorite in my household. My husband recently found him on Instagram and left a comment on a post saying, "You, sir, are the GOAT." So that gives you any indication. He does not interact with authors typically at all, ever. This was a pick for my in real life book club that my husband and I pitched. And that last meeting was several months ago, and I don't know that any of us except for he has read this. It's a very informal book club. It's just myself, him, and one of our best friends and their partner. So super informal. We'll meet up eventually, but I do really want to read this regardless because I do like Anthony Ryan a lot. So I'm going to work on this next month. I just got this copy in the mail today because hubby said he was enjoying it so much that I was like, okay, well then I'll probably need a copy to annotate. I have already started Castles in Their Bones by Laura Sebastian. I want to read this and then follow it up quickly with Stardust in Their Veins, which is the second book in this series. It just came out, I believe, in January. It's another review that I do. I actually am really enjoying this. I started it today. I'm about 50 or 60 pages in. I keep saying I'm going to read this and I keep putting it off. And I finally started it today and I am in fact very much enjoying it. So this will hopefully read very, very quickly. I read about 60 pages in 20-30 minutes. So super fast read. The chapters are very short and it's 3 different POVs of 3 different princesses who they were born to rule 3 different kingdoms, bring the kingdoms to their knees, and allow their mother to sweep in and take those kingdoms over for her empire to grow and become one giant empire. So we love us some conniving women, I guess. I have That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf by Kimberly Lemming. This well, I'm assuming the description is all we really, or the title is all the description we really need. She throws a drink at someone's head and misses them entirely, only to hit the stranger behind them. This, I believe, is the friend of Cinnamon from book 1. She falls, or this is her romance with one of the demons that Cinnamon saves in the first book. I think one of the ones that was in the slave pits in the city that they go to. So again, I don't need much on this. It's extremely short, and these are extremely funny and very quick to read. I'm very excited. I say so a lot. I need to stop that. Had it. Tachyon Publishing sent me one of my first physical arcs I've ever gotten from a publisher, and that is Flight and Anchor by Nicole Corner-Stace. This is a novella, not sequel, but spin-off story of 2 of the characters from Firebreak, which came out, I believe, last year or the year before. This follows 6 and 22 who were featured in that story. Firebreak is what Ready Player One wished it could have been in a world where it was even a little bit good. Unpopular opinion. I hate that book. It is the story of a girl who she is in a dystopian society in which 2 warring corporations who own most of the land left in the United States have kind of reached this like stalemate of back and forth war over this one big city. She lives part of her life in this game called Best Life, and the rest of her life is spent scrounging for water, food, rations, that sort of thing. And she gets caught up in a movement to save some individuals and overthrow the sort of manipulative and very abusive power structures that exist. This follows 2 of the characters that she interacts with a lot, 6 and 22, who are spec ops agents for one of those corporations. Their story is really sad in Firebreak. what we got of it, and this kind of goes into it a little more because this takes place before Firebreak when 6 and 22 were children. So I'm excited to see what she does with it there. After reading Firebreak, I'm almost a little sad to read that, but we're going to go into it with an open mind and hope that I don't end up sobbing by the end. Firebreak almost messed me up. Firebreak was intense, so I'm really hoping that one's not. The Well of Ascension by Brando Sando. I am possibly one of the only people left on BookTube who has not actually finished this series. I have no excuse. I have no excuse. This is the second Mistborn book. I am a big Brandon Sanderson fan. I just have not quite managed to get through his entire backlist because he puts out well, for a lot of reasons, mostly because he puts out chunky books, and also because for a long time there, my anxiety kept me from reading sequels to things. But I'm finally getting over that thanks to medication. But I plan on picking this up sooner rather than later. We read the first book for our book club, that same informal book club last year, and I have yet to get to it. This one I need to read, and we also read The Grace of Kings in that same book club, and that next book is also on my TBR in the next couple months. I am like breaking the spine to this as I talk. I can't read these editions because they're so tight, but I have seen some reels online about how people like break the spines and relax the spines of these. So I'm just gonna keep doing this till I read this book, and hopefully by then I'll be able to read it. Fingers crossed. I have bad hand pain. If you're new, the reason I break the spines, I have to do that, is because I have a form of tendonitis in both of my hands that's extremely painful. If it gets too far, like I lose use of this portion of my hand due to pain, I have to end up in a brace. So I try to make things easier on myself, and I break the spines on books so I can hold them open. Anyway, The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. The second book to this comes out this year. I am all kinds of hype for this. I went out of my way to hunt this down when I went on vacation last year, and I did not get to it. But this is the story of what would happen if the chosen one was kind of shitty, is from what I've gathered. It is this, I believe this is her on the cover. This swordswoman is tasked with training the chosen one to become, you know, the great hero that will save the world, but he's kind of terrible. And that's her unfortunate lot in life, is that he is terrible and she has to train him. It's supposed to be a little bit over the top and kind of funny. I have read Wesley Chu's books before. I read, I think, the entirety of his debut series. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a science fiction agent sort of thing. It was very fun, and I do remember it being a little over the top at times, and the humor was a little out there, and I've heard much the same about this, so I am excited to get to this. I also really love this cover. If I like this, I might invest in the broken binding edition of the second book, which is absolutely stunning. We'll see. I am going to watch my husband play Jedi Survivor and read Jedi Battle Scars, which is the prequel game to Survivor. This takes place between Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. It's pretty short, and I think this sets up a lot of the relationships that we're supposed to see in Survivor. According to what he has said, because he has watched reviews, it's not super important to the plot of Survivor, but it does have some interesting like tidbits and setup things going on. So I don't know much about this. Jedi Survivor, the game, is about Cal Kestis, this fella here, who finds out he has the Force. Or no, he doesn't find out. He knows he has the Force. He is a Jedi on the run. He was a Padawan when Order 66 was executed, and he's kind of been on the run since. It kicks off with him he was working on a trash planet that I just realized my ring light's the wrong color. He was working on a trash planet till the Imperials kind of flushed him out. Look at all these colors. What the heck? There we go. Sorry, that was wild. He was working on a trash planet till the Imperials managed to flush him out, and he ended up on board the Mantis with this woman here, who was dedicated to finding a holocron, which contained the name of the younglings of the temple and those still out in the galaxy that weren't quite at the temple yet, to keep it from falling into Sith hands. And the game follows them. I don't know the plot of Survivor. I'm not going to spoil the end of Fallen Order, or I'm not going to spoil the end of Fallen Order. I don't quite know this plot of Survivor, so don't ask me. I'm going to read this and then we'll find out. My husband's already started Survivor. He spent all day playing it. He said he really likes it so far, so we'll see. An indie title, I have Nightmare Arcanist by Shami Stovall. This book, I don't know anything about it except that it is a magical school setting, and somebody said something about Pokemon, and really that's all I need to hear. The magical school stuff I can take or leave, but if you say Pokemon, I'm going to say where? I have no shame. I love Pokemon. So I can't tell you a lot about it. I can also tell you that I got advertised the hell out of this, so good job to the author, because this is an indie published book. We saw ads for it everywhere. I saw it on Instagram, and I finally gave up and bought a copy. I'm actually very excited about that. It's also really short. I'm looking forward to getting to it. Again, like I said, no context, magical school, Pokemon. I'm in. Another indie book, Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. This is a cozy fantasy about, I believe, a princess and a bodyguard, or a bodyguard and just a regular gal. They both work for, one of the queen's private guards and the most powerful mage in existence. Something goes wrong, a plot goes awry, an assassin tries to kill one of them, and they decide they're ready to retire, and the two of them want to set up a bookshop, tea shop sort of situation. And that is the book. You like tea, I like books, care to open a shop and forget the world exists, is what the back says. The second book of this is Pirates. So I would like to get to this one so I can pick up the second book. We're just gonna knock out all of the indie books in my TBR. Breach of Peace by Daniel B. Green. This is Daniel Green of booktube fame. This was his debut novella. I thought it was supposed to be a full-length novel, but it is novella. I know very little about this besides that it follows cops in a fantasy world, fantasy cops, urban fantasy. I feel like someone somewhere equated it to like a Max Gladstone-esque world, and I do enjoy Max Gladstone. Ooh, I accidentally kicked you. I am so sorry. Is that okay? Yeah. So I thought I'd give this a try. I like Daniel's content, so I would like to support him as an author as well. We'll report back. And the last indie book I have is Balam Spring. This is a cozy mystery book about a small island town on the coast of Altalia. So high fantasy, it looks like. A school teacher and a ex-mercenary who are working to solve the mystery of, I think it's a disease or a sickness that's spreading around town, and the mysterious stranger who arrived right before the sickness did. I really love this cover. This book my husband picked out for me. I know nothing really about it besides the back cover, and he picked it out for me completely on his own for Christmas. If you've been around for a while, you saw those videos. I'm very impressed with his choice, so I'm very excited to get to that. Let's knock the romance out of the way. I was going to say fantasy romance, but I don't know that I necessarily would consider these fantasy romance. A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating by Sarah Hawley. I saw this on Robin's channel at Paperbacks and Planners, Paperbacks and Planners. She enjoyed it, and she talked about how it was pretty funny, and I love humor in books, and it's very easy for someone to make me laugh. I like to laugh. And I picked this up at the Target. In the first chapter, it's talking about how she summoned a chicken instead of the demon that she was trying to summon, or whatever else she was trying to summon. She summoned a chicken, and so that had me giggling right off the bat, so I was sold for that one. I have the newest Ice Planet Barbarian Special Edition. This is Barbarian's Prize. This is Tiffany's story. I think this might be one of the few that I managed to skip when I was reading these originally. It's hard for me to remember because I honestly didn't mark them on Goodreads when I blazed through them all the first time. At the time, I was a little bit like, I'm not gonna mark these romance books on my Goodreads. Now I don't really care. So I don't actually know if this, I don't recognize this one. So I'm kind of excited about this since I don't recognize the plot of it. It's probably one I skipped, so I would like to get to that soon. I actually almost picked that up today, but instead decided to finally start Castles in Their Bones. I do have another romance. Glitterland by Alexis Hall, one of my favorite authors. This is a contemporary romance about a writer and a flashy man? I doesn't actually what he is. The two of them managed to strike up a relationship. I think someone said the other guy describes himself as a human ball of glitter or something like that. That's delightful to me. I do know that this contains a lot of, at least the first portion of this, the first like chapter again that I read at the Target, the main character here, Ash, had a very intense anxiety panic attack. So if you're interested in this, please check the trigger warnings. I don't know the extent of the list, but that was intense to read. I liked it because it was relatable. I have had more than a few of those, but it was intense. So, but I love Alexis Hall. I trust Alexis Hall, and I'll read pretty much anything he puts out at this point. So that is definitely going to get read. The last three are fantasy. Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson is about three retired witches who four retired witches who once served in Her Majesty's Royal Coven, and how they find the child of prophecy that is destined possibly to destroy the world, and how they have to take that child in and instead try to stop what they're destined to do or change the path of fate, something like that. I don't know a whole lot. I like Juno Dawson. I believe I've read one or two of their books previously, and I really love the premise on this one. I think it sounds very cool. Also, this cover is okay, but the UK covers are absolutely stunning. So if this is something I end up really enjoying, I will probably go out of my way to donate this and get a UK cover for my shelves. I'm pretty excited to find out. Last two. Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. I know that the second book in this is coming out, and I know that a lot of people have loved this. I really enjoyed The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. I never did get to the second book. I felt like the first book kind of wrapped up in a place where I was happy to leave it. So I'm wondering how this one's gonna wrap up. I have no context for the second book, so I don't even know if it's a direct sequel or like a spin-off sequel. But this is about the goddaughter of Death and Fortune. It's kind of she's the bad guy from I think it's the Goose Girl retelling. So I don't know a heck of a lot about it. I think this is Rachel Reads, one of her books that she really, really enjoys, one of her favorites. So I expect some good things out of this. I know when I read the first chapter a long time ago before I purchased it, I really enjoyed it, which is why I spent my actual money on it. We'll see. And the last book on the list is The Red Scholar's Wake by Aliette de Bodard. Aliette de Bodard is one of my favorite authors. I have read nearly all of their novellas set in this world, the Dominion of the Fallen, not the Dominion of Fallen, the universe of Juya. This is a science fiction world in which, let me see if I can explain this, in which human souls can be imparted onto spaceships. Women can birth the souls into the spaceships through a special means. I don't quite know how that works because I don't know that it's ever actually been fully explained. It's kind of a magic-y science fiction world, and usually the plot lines revolve around a murder or a mystery of sorts. I actually don't know the plot of this one, and I don't care because I love Aliette de Bodard. Ding dong. Fuck your life. I hope that picked up on my camera. But this is good timing. Husband just walked in. But like I said, Aliette de Bodard's a favorite. I can't wait to get to this one. And that is it for my TBR. My husband and my daughter are now home, so I will talk to you guys again soon. like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will talk to you then. Bye. I really hope that picked up. Just bing bong, fuck your life. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get a thumbnail and I'll be up.
Do you want to go to Target and see if we can find a Mario shirt?
Sure.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Give me like 2 minutes, Turkish.
Okay.